the beliefs. Restore me as a chief, record me underneath, and hold me up to see we're more than memories, much more than falling leaves. No longer begging please or praying on my knees. There's more to history than superficial victories. Your kisses unseen flow through my bloodstream. The blood is rushing, there must be something. Just do this one thing, reach out and touch me. Your love is awfully delicate, hug you for the smell of it. Trust our building element, don't hasten its development. I can't believe you're feeling me, love is what you're telling me. I fell for you unwillingly, and now your love is killing me. Your hands are all too innocent, schemes to make it intimate. Dreams of you play into it, seems these days are different. I can't believe you're feeling me, love is what you're telling me. I fell for you unwillingly, and now your love is killing me.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Light Radio. I'm going to start the day off, start this morning show off with a very beautiful song, Lament One by Grandfather Dragonfly, a song for his angel. And here it is. Good morning. Thanks again. And once again, welcome to Morning Light Radio Show. And a show, I don't know. Entertainment, definitely not. Happy you're here. I welcome you. Oh, that song is so abundant in feeling, and you truly feel the lament. and the artistry is profound. I guess it would be appropriate to start the day with some sort of joke, but I won't. Yeah, just gonna ease into things this morning, have some fun, see where all this goes. I have a few clips still kind of prepared from Butterflies and Dragons episode 2, and I'm going to take advantage and play them here and now.
Let me read to you two poems. This first one is by a Buddhist monk named Thich Nhat Hanh. Very beautiful monk. I won't read the whole thing. I am a frog swimming happily in the clear water of a pond. I am also the grass snake who, approaching in silence, feeds itself on the frog. I am the child in Uganda, all skin and bones, my legs as thin as bamboo sticks. I am also the merchant of arms, selling deadly weapons to Uganda. I am the 12-year-old girl, refugee on a small boat, who throws herself into the ocean after being raped by a sea pirate. I am also the pirate, my heart not yet capable of seeing and loving. My joy is like spring, so warm it makes flowers bloom in all walks of life. My pain is like a river of tears, so full it fills up all the 4 oceans. Please call me by my correct names, so that I can hear at the same time all my cries and my laughs, so that I could see that my joy and pain are but one. Please call me by my correct names, so that I could become awake, so the door of my heart be left open, the door of compassion. All my names. The quality of love has no boundaries. There's no other in love. There is us at one level, and at the deeper level there is only I. We are merged in love.
Yeah, that is beautiful. Good morning, Conspiracy Music, man. Great to see you today. Hope you are having a fantastic beginning of the week. It is a gorgeous day here in California with another radiating sun. Thanks, I'm glad you found those emotes. You'd be amazed how a grown man could spend his day making spinning leaves. And guess what? It was well worth it. It was fun. I like doing stuff like that, especially when I could figure it out. Yeah, man. Thinking about our discussion yesterday, the Blunt Scotsman, and the intent here is to keep it going, to remain in that energy and just ride the wave from one place to another. At the moment, my surfboard of choice is my van, which I am very grateful to have. But my other van broke down and I had to buy a small car temporarily. And for a few years, driving around in that, which I was very grateful for and very fortunate to have been able to get. And now I am back in a van, and I love the idea, or I love knowing that I have a lot of options with the van. That's neither here nor there. On last night's show, we had Ori Rat here and talking about dreams, and I definitely had a good amount of dreaming last night. I did not have any lucid dreams. And the last dream that I had, I found myself at a memorial for my stepfather. And now that I think about it, there were some cues in that dream that were not consistent. And dreams will often provide you with inconsistencies. So you might have the opportunity to gather your consciousness so that your subconscious and conscious can dance in the space. And I did not catch the cue. In this particular dream, the part that I can remember started with me trying to find a spoon, and I was in some mall type thing, and I had like an ice cream or a like a thick shake, and I dropped my spoon, and I was trying to find another spoon, and as I connected with everyone else, family and friends, and many people, I found myself at the eulogy of my stepfather, and there was a video playing. And there's something there that I can't quite grasp. Often, without taking some steps, my dreams are quite fleeting. There was a lady in the dream who was on her 14th day of fasting, of zero consumption fasting. I remember being a little judgmental. There we go. I don't know how long you've been in the waiting room, but let me get you on the stage. Welcome to you, the Blunt Scotsman.
Good morning,
Good morning.
America. I was very
Good.
interested in listening to your dream there.
Yeah, so there's not much more. So we had the lady that was fasting,
Yeah.
and I was saying that I found myself being a bit judgmental, which was a little bit strange, or maybe not. Maybe I wanted to be a
Well,
little bit
no,
strange.
it's just
Yeah,
it's
good.
quite difficult. It's quite difficult to pick apart your own dreams. Yeah. I just thought it was very
Yeah,
interesting that you
and
mentioned you see, you'll know that the sort of like, yeah, you'll sort of know that the personal sort of like transformation you've felt over the last few days or so, sort of personal connections and things. You know, the
yes,
what's the yes, the word is the metamorphosis, the
right.
split up of the split up I, the split up of the word meta is the beyond. This is what you've been searching for, and the morph is your transformation. Is the change? Is the physical death to the spiritual life, and the osis is where it all begins. But you did mention you dreamt about a spoon.
I did.
You think about the spoon, what the
My,
spoon does for. Well, you think about what the spoon does for us, and it holds and it cradles. It's got a sense of, without a doubt, a well-being, something that is welcome, safe, dependable. And then also you dreamt about, was it ice cream?
yeah, so I believe it was ice cream or a shake or like a
Well,
McFlurry.
I think what they say about the emotion of I think they say about the emotion of ice cream or something like that is like this is something obviously being smooth, but also being a bit of an indulgence. And this is where the guilt trip part came in, where you maybe felt you were being too critical about someone fasting because you've maybe actually been self-fasting in a certain way, maybe work commitment, family commitment, spreading the vibration commitment. So you're very much aware of that, but you are the spoon.
And in the dream, when I was looking for a spoon, the one that I found was not as long as the original one, and so it would get my hands dirty or ice creamy, and so I was a little irritated by that. Not a lot, but a little. Or should I say, I was longing for a longer spoon in that particular part of the dream.
Just the
And the last part of the dream that I could
yeah.
the last part of the dream that I could remember, I was, and I do this quite a bit, put my hands behind my back and kind of give myself a good pop. And I was doing that, and it was like my back was just nearly boneless, and just when I would press into it, it'd like get so deep in there, and it was like almost like folding. That might be.
Yes.
Yeah, I have some.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. That might be the.
Yeah, well, yeah, well, it's that part of the subconscious that is very relatable to your life. We can have such wild, esoteric, crazy, sometimes dreams, but to properly lay them out and to obviously, and this is sometimes a lot. This is something that we sometimes don't do, but truly, honestly, look at ourselves in the situations we may be finding ourselves in. Sometimes when we are going through a negative mindset to deal with certain situations just to get us through the day, then it's difficult to break through in an honest sense of what these mean, because if we are juggling our conscience, then our subconscious will be constantly trying to tell us that.
Yeah,
Makes
the
sense.
last part that this was kind of in between, and this is the part that I feel was a pretty good cue for me to maybe go into lucid dreaming, and I didn't catch it, and it was in the there was some video playing, sharing memories about my stepfather, and there was something about like a cane, and somebody mentioned something about him having a cane. I remember going, well, we got him the cane before um, he started losing his footing. And sometimes these inconsistencies, because this was not the case, and sometimes these inconsistencies will kind of help me to realize, oh, this is not how it works. This is not that's not true. Oh, okay, yeah, I see what's going on. I am in the dream realm. But today, I guess, and most of the time, I'm just flowing with it, and I don't catch those cues. And sometimes
We
you
were
get
speaking about it last night. We were speaking about before you went off to rest last night about lucid dreaming, about dreaming.
exactly,
And I think
exactly.
the more that you're sort of like investigating this exploratory path, uh, that will only start to, I feel, make deeper connections to yourself. The no need for psychedelics.
Yes.
Yeah,
Now,
well,
one of
they're
the
saying
dreams
it's
that I've kind of, yeah,
the lucid dreaming part that they've investigated in neurology is a direct. Well, they say it is a DMT flash. The all the receptors are fired at one point with a crystallized solution of DMT that leaves the pineal gland at this point of REM state. And uh, the studies that I've read also, it seems to always be a certain time of the night where people's nights are between this 3, 4, 4:30 magic time, where the body is at a certain point, where the mind is at a certain point. But obviously, I think we can prepare ourselves for that point, and I think that's what you've been doing.
yeah, I try to dream as much as possible, and I like to remember as much of the dream as possible so that we can do what we're doing now. And it's really nice to have somebody else look at it from a unique perspective, which is Very interesting because, like you said, analyzing your own dreams is
But I can remember the very first book
a
that I
different
read.
thing. Yeah.
But the very first book I read about dreams, was saying that almost every dream that you get is simplified as a reflection sometimes. So when you were talking about at the end of your dream about getting the cane before the walking got so bad, apparently you can reflect that to yourself. You are in preparation of giving yourself some assistance before things get too bad. And then the reason of your reasoning of why you would have done that action made sense to you, then obviously if this was you, it's going to make even more sense. So it's just to try and flip it round. Like your poem also, it's a very good thing to do, that we do write out, we do write inclusive, we do write to project. When you look at what you write, when you write like that and put the I and the me back in, it can be very emotional because you can understand that this is you speaking. You find your voice.
Yes. And we had some, in my opinion, invigorating conversation yesterday about the voice and the breath and the connection between the two and the cosmos, if you will. Yeah, and I did go back and listen to your show and fell asleep to it, so that was really nice. Yeah, enjoyed the
Well,
chat.
I think I watched about three quarters. I listened to that part of the show last night from your Watchlings upload. Then got about 3/4 into the vibrational awareness discussion and presentation, which I thought was phenomenal. Yeah, man. There's a lot of great vibrations being put out in all different directions at the moment by many people.
Yeah.
There's a willingness.
That's really cool.
People are making an effort.
Really cool.
It's easy to see.
It's very, very much appreciated. So everybody, keep it going, keep it coming. Send those vibes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna play another quick clip.
Yes.
This one's a Joseph Campbell from one of his interviews with Bill Moyer, and I believe it's in regards to his book, The Hero Has 1,000 Faces, or something like that. It's great. I love to hear this man speak, and his books. Took me about 3 or 4 times to read them before I started to understand, because it was pretty high level reading and quite a challenge. Here we go. Just throwing it out there.
When people sing, I dance. I enter the earth. I go in at a place like a place where people drink water. I travel a long way, very far. When I emerge, I'm already climbing. I'm climbing threads. I climb one and leave it. Then I climb another one, then I leave it, and I climb another. When you arrive at God's place, you make yourself small. You come in small to God's place. You do what you have to do there. Then you return to where everyone is. You come and come and come, and finally you enter your body again. All the people who have stayed behind are waiting for you. They fear you. You enter the earth, and you return to enter the skin of your body. And you say, that is the sound of your return to your body. Then you begin to sing. The Utum masters are there around. They take hold of your head and blow about the sides of your face. This is how you manage to be alive again. Friends, if they don't do that to you, you die. You just die and are dead. Friends, this is what it does, this tum that I do, this tum here that I dance.
Yeah,
I love
I found
that.
that
I
an
love that,
interesting
man.
clip. Yeah.
That is very interesting, and I'll let you know why. Because when he's saying untum, you have ayahuasca, which is the feminine side of the spiritual plant, and there's a masculine side that's called untuma. It's called umtuma. And on my shamanic quest, I had tried both ayahuasca and umtuma. And ayahuasca is supposed to put you more in touch with the feminine side and the spirit guide of the feminine. And umtuma is supposed to put you in touch with the masculine side of spirituality. And yeah, man.
Yeah. And so, and that seems to
Any,
be the case. Would you agree?
yeah, definitely. But it's like it's it's really strange because since that since that experience, anytime I've needed any true deep down courage, strength, determination, this untuma comes to me. It did on the night. The shaman told me exactly what it was, but that's the first time I've heard that. Amazing,
Oh,
man.
wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
really wow. Yeah, really. And the thing about that night also was the exact same with the ayahuasca, that I took the same potions as all the men, and everybody was all being sick and in their own corner, and it wasn't working for me. And they doubled up the dose for me, and I just wanted to dance all night. No breakthroughs, no visions. I could touch the stars, I could feel the earth. I wanted to build a fire, dance all night, and that's what I really ended up doing, was just building a fire myself. Eventually, everybody came out about 4 o'clock in the morning, and just, what have you been doing? Like dancing in circles
Oh, man.
alone, my bare feet. Yeah, man.
That's
It's all
very
about this
interesting.
connection.
You want to hear something that's could be funny?
Yeah. Well, you started your show like that, and I
My
actually was listening in the
experience,
background. I thought it was quite funny how
my
you started the
experience was
show.
the exact opposite of yours. My ayahuasca
Oh.
experience was the exact opposite, and I'll just give just a brief. Number one is I took a third less than everybody else,
Okay.
and uh, um, and went very, very, very deep into visions. And when I finally had some sort of volition over my own body, I tried to dance, and like I just was like a noodle. I could not.
There
I
was a
could.
point I can
I could
remember
barely even
laying.
move.
There was a point
I had
I
the
remember that I was
the
laying
shaman
down
was
and the
calling me
earth
over.
swallowed. Sorry.
Oh no, no. Okay, I was just saying the shaman was calling me over because um, she needed to ground me with some hape, and I couldn't get to her. I couldn't get, and I was like trying to. I was like on my hands and knees, and I just couldn't go anywhere. And it took me hours to get to her. for the hape. And once I had the hape, wow, it was so necessary, and it
Yeah.
cleaned me out. And I had another friend who you've met who was in that ceremony, and he was kind of like you,
Yeah.
also practicing, I would say, healer or shaman, if you will.
Yeah.
And yeah, to him, he was like,
Huh.
"Man, I wish I had your experience," or something like that. But he
But
had
you
his
see,
own energy. He had
I
his own
chase.
energy. Yeah, I'm sorry, please.
No, no, I was going to say that yeah, I just chased the spirit guide for maybe 4 or 5 years, to eventually get in touch with shaman, and the 8 or 9 months, whatever it was, with the 3 experiences all in, where the shaman really just pointing out that there's some spirits that won't break through because of who the individual is. And he was basically putting it down to a lot of the pain issues that I've always carried. But he'd seen all these amazing things coming from me, and understood that I was a guide, but not in the shamanic sense where I can see spirits or be in touch with that side of things. But I instantly hear a voice and can read a vibration and sense a path of well-being for others. So I think that's where I've been put by the spirit sort of vibe.
Yeah, yeah. There. I know we were talking a little bit about it, I believe, on your show. Now that I listened to it again, and I was telling you kind of the connection with the stomach and how that has
Yeah.
had a huge impact on journeying and really my life in general, and especially since these experiences and before. So when there's a pretty serious ayahuasca diet, it's called La Dieta, and there's a lot of do's and don'ts diet wise, at least in regards to my introduction to the medicine. And I, just like most things, I procrastinated on it. But once I got started, I had a very, very strong diet, and I had a very empty stomach going into the ceremony, a very clean stomach. And I feel like that allowed me to travel farther and deeper than I may have otherwise traveled. And oddly enough, I almost didn't purge at all. And I didn't purge until I finally made that 2 hour crawl to receive a serving of hape.
See, I've naturally got a strong stomach, so there's not a lot of things that have made me sick. There's only one thing that's ever physically made me throw up, and it was the Amanita muscaria. And that was a night full of visions. And I think the purge had a lot to do with it. But I was never ever of the mind to make myself sick. That happened quite naturally, but and it also happened very quickly where I thought, I've wasted that. That's been a waste. I've lost that. I tried to hold. I
The
tried to hold it back.
economical.
Oh mate, I tried to
Was
hold
the
it back
door
so much.
creaking?
I
The
hold
door
it
was
up.
creaking
Yeah.
open.
Had to hold it back so much, and I was advised to go in for a warm shower. I went in for a warm shower. As soon as the water hit me, that was it. It made it even worse. And I was really sick in the shower. Felt really sort of like a bit refreshed when I came out of the shower, and I thought, right, that's it. I'm getting no effects. I'm going to roll a joint and go and sit outside. And as I stood up to go and walk outside, I've just felt this ripple effect going through my whole body, like this morphine head to toe ripple. And I was like, oh, did I feel something there? And walking out to the bench, and when I sat down, and it was actually on the, like, when I inhaled the joint, everything all just started to be with my breath. And when I was looking to the right, everything was taking a little second to come with me. And I was like, wow, this is like LSD. This is like a real trippy feel. And then to my left hand side, I was like, is that someone standing? And when I looked here for a second, I seen someone smile very quickly and jump behind a bush. And I was like, oh, this is cool, man. Yeah, well, let's see. Let's see if I can see anybody. Let's see if I can see anybody else. Anybody wants to come and sit with me. And I can remember even saying, well, I'm connected to the spirits. Does anybody want to come and speak with me? Is anyone here from the past or the future? Or started speaking like that. Got no connections, but a very trippy experience for about an hour and a half after being sick. That's the only time I've ever purged on psychedelics. Was the red and white mushroom, man. But I've got more in the freezer, so
Yeah,
all good for the summer.
I've heard some mixed reviews about those, so it's kind of interesting to hear a personal account. So
There's just so many
those
different
are
kinds.
the large red or white ones, like what the.
There's just so many different kinds. That's the thing.
Well, that one is very specific, and there's a gentleman who wrote a book, and I can't remember. I don't know. I know the name when I hear it, but the amber, what is it?
Animated
The
Muscaria.
yeah, and there's a gentleman who wrote a book, and I don't remember the name, if it's Sacred Mushroom or something else, where he was arguing that was what is called in Vedic literature, ancient Vedic literature, soma.
Yes.
Whether
Yes, indeed.
I haven't read his book, so I don't know how strong of a case there is. But it sounded. I watched at least some videos on it, and it was very interesting. I like that information, and I've watched other people talk about how they prepare them, and I remember
Well,
one lady in particular who had some. I don't know if his depression had some serious issues, and uh, she felt like that particular mushroom gave her that connection that she was missing.
oh, yes. It's a different mushroom to psilocybin, psilocin. It's a total different chemical altogether. It's a GABA inhibitor. They're doing a lot of tests at the moment. I'm laughing. I am laughing with the most cynicism I can muster. Because it just gets me so angry, because the pharmacology and the chemistry behind a lot of these proven plants has been literal for decades and decades and decades, and now they're maybe just deciding, obviously because they've understood that it can be marketed. And it's really interesting listening to Terence McKenna speaking from the 70s and the 80s. This is like 40 years ago. I'm listening to some of these audios, and it's like, wow, got it spot on with a lot of things. I've actually, I don't know if it's going to make any difference, but and obviously I can't speak to him, but I've started making a little journal of things that I don't agree with, or that I would like to
Ooh, I like
question,
it.
or well, it's just that he said certain things that have obviously been his perception at that time, and that's what he took from that. But sometimes when he's explaining something, I'm like, oh well, I think that's that. In fact, Terence, I think you've maybe missed something there. And who am I to say that a man like him, who did such amazing exploratory work on consciousness and true hard work in that front, for me to criticise? But it's not even a criticism. It's just I think he would welcome the debate or the discussion or the argument. So because there's so many things that I resonate with, and when I hear him speaking, I'm like, oh, that's someone who would understand me and where I am at this moment and what's been happening to me and all that sort of stuff. He would get it.
Yeah, and I like this idea, and it's something that my dad said quite a bit, and he quoted from somebody, I can't remember, maybe it's like a Zen koan, and in that koan it says, ask the question, what do you do if Buddha steps in the way of your path? And the answer is, punch him in the face. And I don't take that literally, but the essence of the communication, I think, is profound. And if we listen to Terence McKenna and we deified him, we would be fools. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
As intelligent and as beautiful and as eloquent as his words are,
exactly.
and yeah, and for us not to be fools, we question and we actually will have a deeper understanding of situations by having these inquiries. And I would imagine, yeah, somebody that is exploratory would love the questions and would love to find weaknesses in their own theories. And that's how I would imagine him to be, because, yes, he seems to be a very genuine
Well,
explorer and searcher.
this is for me. This is just another phase of learning and trying to understand what I'm hoping to learn and incorporate it into a stronger sort of like onward. So I know it's like a sort of phase. I've only got about 420 hours to go. And the thing is, it's like every single different video that I've been playing of his and every single audio I've been playing, he will he'll use the analogies quite a lot of times to incorporate the things that he's been speaking about, because obviously he's only lived his own life experience. But that's what I also still like, is that as a reaffirmation of this is someone real. This is not a show busy person. This is a guy who went with the CE's britches and like gave it out to public and didn't care what anybody was going to think about him, because he had something to say. And nobody needs to sit and listen. Nobody needs to agree. Like myself, I don't need to sit and listen or agree. But I just love that true vibration of someone's self-confidence that's got someone to say about a life experience. I think it's valuable. This is where a lot of misunderstanding and easy offense can come in, because we don't hear this from people.
There's something that I like about him too, and it's kind of a funny thing to like, but I really like it. I love just how bombastic he is. I'm so into that. Like, okay, these are words that almost zero people, you're not going to hear people stringing these words together as he does.
No.
And oddly enough, like, I'm like, how can I make sense of this? But I can most of the time. It's really interesting because he uses so many words that are um, not included in our everyday language by any means. By any means. And like, this is like 75% of his words are like in the 10% usage or less, and I find that I like that part of the learning as well, like learning to incorporate
Yeah, there's
this new language
something about
almost.
his lit. Yeah, that's the thing. It is like a new language, and it's words that are available. So it's really strange. It's like hearing things like this. You're like, what did you just say, and what does that mean? I love that.
Yeah, big time. It's so
That's the
cool.
thing that I crave for every single day. What does that mean? And what, how am I going to feel about this? And what does that now connect that to? So that means that. I never knew that. That's what it's all about. A new page. When everything seems to be the same, and it's like you turn on the news and you're like, yep, just different date, same stuff. Da-da-da. Yep. We all know that the
Yeah,
association
one
runs
thing
everything.
after another,
The conspiracy
and
theories,
even
the
like the
conspiracy facts.
podcasters. Exactly, exactly. And there's like a lot of people that I appreciate, and not necessarily, who a lot of them I don't know what their spiritual side is, but they're going out and they're analyzing the propaganda news and interpreting it for, I would say, my benefit at least, being able to see things in a different light. And at the same time, these people that I appreciate, if I go to one show to the next, it's all the same shit. They're interviewing the same people. They're talking about the same. It's quite a phenomenon. So I'm happy to be here this morning, talking with you, and again putting something out into existence, something very different, something more human, in my opinion,
Yeah, man.
something that could maybe slightly offset uh, this kind of hard line on. And it's there for a purpose, and it's there for a reason, and I believe that we should face it. But there's a whole spectrum of experience here, and we need to nobody needs to do anything, but I need to focus as much energy as I can on my output, and I want to remain as healthy as I can remain, and a part of that is my vibration, because these things that we take in, again, it's just like food. That becomes part of our ingestion and our energetic essence, and we can sway it one way or another based on our conversations already. We have some understanding, or maybe even a clear understanding of where we want it, how we want to sway our energy. And yeah, how did I get there? I don't know. Just to give anybody who might be listening and ourselves, I'm almost at my landing zone,
Yeah, man.
cutting it close enough where I'm gonna like park and eject my ass out. So
Get into the
winding
day, get
down.
into the
I'm gonna
week.
play. Yeah, I love this opportunity, whether it's in the morning or at night or in the middle of the day, to position ourselves. And I think that was what was successful yesterday, and there was um, some very clear rewards, if you want to call it that. Um,
Yeah.
and maybe there's more happening. Maybe the planets were aligned, and uh, there were the other things that kind of open up to the harmony that I felt. And I'm not always sure about how involved these other things are, and I'm curious about it for sure. And I haven't taken a deep dive, but I've dived into uh, astrology, and I've heard people. I have had some pretty decent synchronizations with interesting people that discuss astrology, and so yeah, something interesting. But yeah, it was good, and I would say taking things into what we can do is we do have the ability to format our own posture and to set ourselves up to for receiving and emanating the vibrations that we choose. Yeah, and I like the ones that are full of love. Those are my preferred vibrations.
And just to leave on vibrations and dreams. Obviously, when we have dreams, we have visions, when we have dreams, but neuroscientists, you're going to love this. Neuroscientists, when they analyze the brain activity when someone is dreaming, they pick up a thing called an acoustical hologram. They don't really know how it happens still to this day. They cannot work it out, but what they do know is that it causes a crossover effect called synesthesia. And when you look about synesthesia, that has a biological, neurological, and physiological effect that increases a deeper sense of connection and spirituality, all through dreams. Those who dream will rule the
So
world.
we will. I think that's a beautiful place to allow everybody to project their dreams into the moment. And I thank you very, very much. And I thank everybody out there. Appreciate you. Good morning, good evening. God bless you. Amen. Aho. Namaste. Mahalo, my friends. Be well and enjoy. And of
Peace.
course,